What's the deal, people? This is your boy, Big K.Solo. What's up? What's up? Listen, today is story time. You heard? So I'm about to give you a story. It's about one of my boys, you know what I'm saying? The man went through a lot of shit, no question about it. And once you hear this story, you're gonna bug out. It's one of those stories that it's crazy hard to believe, but it happened, all right? And this story is about my boy Xander. I call him Xander. A lot of people call him Ziggy. But, like I said, that's my boy Xander. I met him back in 1985 when I moved in Creston. I mean, me and him clicked. But before that, Ziggy used to smoke mad krills. This is like my God, when I moved over there in 1985, that means he already had like 5 or 6, 7 years in that block. So obviously he'd been there a lot longer than me. So this happened when he was like 14 years old. All right. So what happened was that my man, Zan Ziggy, he was like, what can I tell you? He was that guy that everybody wanted, you know what I'm saying, in their team. Especially if you was doing like burglaries in apartments, because he was short and really skinny. And, like he used to smoke crack, so forget about it. He was even, skinnier. You know what I'm saying? It's like every week he would lose like 20 pounds. So he would fit anywhere. Believe me, anywhere. Me and him did a couple of things. And I was amazed. I was amazed how he used to get through the windows, man. This is no lie. Let me tell you, one thing I remember that I will never forget. We was in the fourth floor. We went to go get this apartment in the fourth floor. This is like about 11:30. There was nobody there. It was an inside job. As a matter of fact, the dudes, it was a Dominican dude. This Dominican dude was going out with a Puerto Rican girl. Matter of fact, you could say they was not married, but that was his girl. They was together like for a few years. So now the stepson, who was Puerto Rican, he set everything up. He told us where was the stash, the whole 9 yard. And let me tell you, when my man Ziggy, like this is crazy. The next door, it was empty. It was nobody lived in the next door. So we broke into the next door's apartment, right next door to where we was gonna hit at. I mean, we how can I say we've effed up when we thought that we was gonna be able to open that door. But homeboy had that door, I'm talking about super duper locked down. It was like Fort Knox, man, no lie, bro. The man had like 5 locks. There's no bullshit. All right, he even had an extra lock that will lock himself inside. If he was inside the apartment, he didn't want nobody to leave, he would lock that up. He had one of those keys. So anyway, like we saw that we couldn't get into the door, so we decided to go to the next apartment that was empty, see if we could go through the window. Now, when we go through the window, joining fire escape, we didn't know that they had a gate. They had a gate there, so we couldn't do nothing because of the gate. So, yo, let me tell you, this was had to be done. We broke the wall. The wall. All right? And the wall that we broke went right straight to his kitchen. I mean, it's crazy. But we broke it. We got in. We got in. Because the stepson told her that they was gonna go out to this how you call it, a wedding dinner. So they was gonna be gone for a minute. He told us where was the stash. He said, yo, my step pops carried money in the freezer. And that's the time when everybody started putting money in the refrigerator. I used to do that back in the days, you know what I'm saying? I used to take the meat, the frozen meat, and I used to open it up, stick the money in there, you know what I'm saying? Whatever money I was slinging or whatever. Boom, stick that in there in the freezer, and let me tell you, it was good to go. I remember one time we got hit. We got hit when we was chilling. This was in Mohegan. We got hit. The popo got into the apartment. We was not in the apartment, but we got hit, and they did not find nothing. The money. We had coke. We had like about 30 grams in these fake Budweiser cans. I know you guys remember those shits. You open up to the top, and you know, and do what you gotta do. At that time, all this was new. Police didn't know about the cans of Budweiser. He didn't know about the cans of Coca-Cola, deodorant, none of that stuff. So we had 2 or 3 6-packs, real six packs of Budweiser, and 1 pack that was fake. And that pack, the whole 6 cans, it was full of coke. Like I said, it was a few grams in there. So anyway, that's another story. You know, that's when we got hit, but we got over because of those cans. So now, in the Dominican dude's house, of course, he had cans, plus he had money the same way I used to stash it in the freezer under, you know, right where the meat is at. This nigga had, God, this nigga had rings. My brother, if this man wanted, he could have wear 4 rings for each finger. He could have wear different rings for about 3 weeks. Every day wear different rings. That's how many rings he had. Of course, I still would like 3. Ziggy still would like 3, but like I said, that time Ziggy was smoking, so I'm pretty sure he got rid of those shits like 2 days later. So it was a good score. It was a good score. We went half with the coke. It was me, Ziggy, and the Lurka Papito. You know what I'm saying? Short Puerto Rican kid. He used to fuck around with the dope. His name was Papito. At that time, I used to not do nothing. At that time, I used to not fuck with no dope, no coke, none of that shit, just weed and beer. So we got what we got. We got a bunch of rings, the grams, about $25,000, 2 handguns, and this motherfucking, how can you call this shit, man? It was this God, how you call it? I only seen this shit. Damn, what was the name of this shit? I forgot the name of it, but it was a silencer. It was a silencer that would fit in the 9mm and all type of millimeters, and all 9mm, any kind. It would fit. And it was a name, and the silencer was like damn, like long. But yo, let me tell you, they offered me, they wanted to give me 500 just for the silencer, and I didn't sell this. I ain't sold it. Being honest to you, I think my brother Peter got over on me. I think he took that shit and sold that. But that's okay, that's my brother. But we got over on that. Now back to Ziggy. Now, like I said, everybody knew that Ziggy had the heart. He had the heart to break in anywhere, anytime. So he met up with these 3 OGs, and I'm talking about OGs because these dudes was like in the early 30s. You know, at that time I was like, God, I was like 19, maybe 20, somewhere around there. Ziggy was like my age, I'm pretty sure. Matter of fact, Ziggy was born the same year. I think he's two months ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's older than me by 2 months. But anyway, this is the story. The story goes that he goes and he knows these 3 dudes. Like I said, they OGs. These 3 dudes used to fuck with the dope. Ziggy used to fuck with the coke, with the crack. So what they did, you know, when they waiting for Ziggy to go through the window, and let me tell you, Ziggy had to do some amazing shit. He had to go through the window from the apartment that was empty. He had to go through the other window next door, and there was no fire escape. The only way he could do that is by getting out the window from the empty apartment and holding on to the window, and at the same time trying to open up the other window from the other apartment. Deep down inside, he had to crack the glass, like break the glass, like psh, we gonna say he went back in, took off his shirt, wrapped it up, and bow, broke the glass. Okay. This is at nighttime. This is somewhere like about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. I remember it was a Friday. Yeah, Friday. It had to be a Friday or Saturday because that was, the wedding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a wedding dinner. So there was people out there, but not that much. Now, this is to the back of the house. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the back of the house, where you got the garbage cans and all that shit. Now, when you know what I'm saying, when they break the glass, when Ziggy breaks the glass, he goes in the apartment. First thing he did, and he told me, he said, "Yo, I should have." It was karma. It was karma because the first thing he did before he opened that door, he went in the room to people's rooms, and I believe it was crack and money. So Ziggy goes into one of the room to the room, opens up the drawer. He said, "Yo, Solo, there was like a wooden chest, about like this and like this." So when he opens that up, packages of crack. You know what I'm saying? Like 40 crack in each package. So he grabs three. He stashes it. Boom. I don't know where he stashes it, but he stashes it. He locks it. He leaves the rest of the packages in there. If he wanted, he could have took all the packages. So he closes the thing. When he getting ready to get out the room, he decides to open up one more door, one more drawer. When he opens the drawer, a 9mm and a 45. He grabs the 9mm, stashes that. Boom. He leaves the 4-5 there. Now, you already know he got over on 3 packages and the gun. So he's like taking this for him. Like, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sharing this. So what happens? When he opens the door, they go and they start searching. They find the packages. They open the drawer. They find the packages of the bags of crack. Like I said, it was a bunch of them in each bag. I think it was 40 bottles. At that time, it was bottles. So, of course, in the wooden chest, they had a few bags. So they grabbed that. They grabbed whatever money they found. They got the other 45. Ziggy was stupid because the money was under the bed. You always got to go under the mattress, man. Bro, there was a couple of thousands. So now they got a couple of thousands. They got the krills. They got a gun and a few other things there. You understand what I'm saying? So the shit's going to look like a really good burglary. No problem. Everything was beautiful. But what happens? These 3 dudes started scheming. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they was not satisfied with what they found. They wanted more. And believe me, they had enough to last them, bro. If they split it up right, they had enough to last them for a couple of weeks. I'm telling you, it was a few thousands, the crack, the gun, whatever, man. They had a few thousands that could have lasted them. But no, what they did was they went greedy and they set Ziggy up, my man, a.k.a. Xander. What they do, they're going to go now. They're going to be like, yo, we're going to break out. Lock the window. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everything's good. Now, remember, the window's broken now. So they wanted him to lock the window and, it didn't make no sense. It did not make no sense to Ziggy to lock the window. But remember, Ziggy is already, his head is open. He's beasting now. So if it was me, I would have questioned like, yo, why should we lock that window for, bro? It's a done deal. We got what we got. And I got to come back out and cross the window again for what? You understand what I'm saying? But then again, there's 3 dudes there. They older than Ziggy. Ziggy's a teenager, somewhere like 19, 18, somewhere around there. These dudes like in their early 30s, middle 30s. You already know, these are fucking, adults messing around with an adolescent because he, like I said, he was young. If he was 18 years old, that was a lot. And I don't think he was 18 because now that I remember, he got locked up. Anyway, I'm going to tell you how he got locked up. So he decided to do what they told him to do. It made no sense to him, but he didn't want no problems. Remember, he got the 9 mm. I mean, he got the 9 that he took, and he got the 3 bags, the big bundles of crack. So now he's also thinking like, wait a minute, there's more crack there. There's jewelry, money. I'm gonna get mine. You know what I'm saying? So fuck it, I'm gonna handle this, whatever, whatever. So he goes out the window. He does the same procedures, locks the window that he broke. Like I said, it didn't make no sense. So he locks the window. He's going back to the window. He's getting out the window, so he's going back. He climbs up the top of the edge, and he's right there to get inside the apartment. And he tells one of the dudes, "Yo, give me your hand real quick. Push me in there." So when they grabbed his hand, they grabbed him by the collar, and the same time they grabbed his hand by the collar, whoop, they pushed him. They pushed him, B. This was, if I'm not mistaken, this was a 4th floor or 5th floor window. Man, Ziggy went down. Down. You know what helped Ziggy well, first of all, he got hurt. He got hurt, broke his 2 legs. I think he fractured some ribs. His arm got broken like in 3 places. I think it was his right hand. He was in a coma for like, if I remember, he was in a coma like for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, somewhere around there. And the bad thing is that they locked him. When he fell, and when they threw him and all that, people heard the noise. Boom. So what saved Ziggy was that there was mad garbage. This was somewhere in the 80s, early 80s, that it was a garbage strike. It was a garbage strike. So what saved Ziggy was that garbage strike, that there was mad garbage bags in the back of the house. It's a building, for a 5th floor building. So this man, you ever looked out your window and you look through the back and you see the garbage cans all filled and all that. So just imagine sanitation lockdown. You understand? And it was already going on for like 2-3 weeks. So there was mad garbage. So he fell on that garbage. Boom, man, people heard that. They look out the window. All these people, well, who was my man Kevin, that he opened that he lived in the upstairs, downstairs, I think it was the 3rd floor. He said that he was watching TV and he saw like 2 ladies going down, but he didn't pay no mind to it because he didn't want to believe it. But when he heard the boom, he went out there to the window. When he looked, he see this dude with shorts, no sneakers, because whatever, I think when he fell, the sneakers came off. He's in the floor, like twisted. The dude said his arm was like this, his leg was over there. So he said, yo, Solo, this shit nigga looked like a puzzle. Matter of fact, he said he looked like a pretzel. You know those pretzels that you buy in Manhattan and shit? I'm sorry to laugh, but that's just crazy. So what happens? They called, the ambulance, you know what I'm saying, of course. But he didn't know that was Ziggy, a.k.a. Xander. He didn't know it was him. So what happens? These dudes break out. They got the mother load. Once again, they didn't know that Ziggy had the 9mm, 3 packages of the krills. But what happened was that when the people started coming down, like the dude that saw him fall, that he saw his legs, and he called the ambulance, he went downstairs real quick. Ziggy gave him the stash. Yo, you know what? He's all fucked up. Go in my pocket, go in my pocket. When the dude goes in his pocket, he sees the motherfucking, the krills, the 9mm, like 5 feet away from him. Ziggy tells that nigga, yo, grab that. If I die, keep it. If I don't, hold it for me. The dude, like I said, he was a good dude. He was not all about the street life, but he knew people from the street life. So, you know what I'm saying, he could handle that request. Like, hold it down for me, man. If I die, it's yours. If I don't, hey, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back to get it. Ziggy was out there, man, because he got locked up. He got locked up. Remember, for the burglary. They found out that he went upstairs and he broke into one of the windows. They wanted to know what happened. So he said that he broke into the apartment that was empty. Smart. So boom, because they're gonna knock on the apartment that got robbed. They are not gonna say anything because you already know what they had. Crack, guns, all that shit. So they didn't get no guns. They got the guns. They got the only gun they got is the gun that. Matter of fact, no, they didn't get no gun because, like I said, Ziggy gave it to his peoples. So anyway, Ziggy goes to the hospital. Ziggy's there for a minute. For a minute. Gets out the hospital, he gets locked up. They hit him with trespassing. Told him what you were doing. Nigga said he was, in the apartment. The apartment was by itself, and he was about to do a tag up in the fucking window, and he slipped and he went down. That's the excuse they gave him. He gave them. Police ain't gonna believe that, but what they gonna do? They ain't find him with shit. So Ziggy goes, he's in there for a couple of weeks, whatever, for trespassing or some bullshit. Ziggy comes out. When he comes out, he's still coming out hurt. Say, come on now. You know what I'm saying? This man waited for like about a year. About a year. And he kept seeing these dudes here and there. The dudes that set him up and shit, he kept seeing them like once in a blue moon. They see them, he'll see one of them, and they be like, "Yo, man, we sorry, man. We was thirsty that day." And Ziggy was like, "Yo, don't worry about it, man. It's fucked up what you did, but don't worry about it." That's what they thought. That Ziggy said, "Don't worry about it. Everything is good, man. Long as I'm alive, everything is love, love." Ziggy was my man. You feeling me? He was my man. Now, this went on for like 3 years. This nigga Ziggy let these motherfuckers sleep for 3 years. Now, I already know this is something like 80, 86. 86. I've already been there for about a year in the block. You know what I'm saying? So me and Ziggy became good friends. No question. So what happens? Ziggy catches one of them. I don't know what happened to that dude. Never been seen again. Ziggy never told me anything about him. Just put it to you like this. Nigga is gone. All right, that's what Ziggy told me. He's gone. The second dude died in a fire. Died in a fire where he was staying at. He was staying in this empty apartment, and he had that apartment like shooting galleries. So you already know motherfuckers were going over there to shoot up and to smoke. And whatever you do, whatever you're gonna do, say you gotta piece them off or something. That's that real crackhead shit. So that's how we was living. That's how he was living. All of a sudden there was a fire. He got burned to death. The other dude, the one that did the pushing. Now, that day, I was with Ziggy. On my defense, when I left Ziggy, Ziggy went on his own, and 3 days later, they found homeboy in a garbage can, cut up. I mean, whoever did the job did a sloppy job. All they did was cut his 2 legs, his 2 arms, and put it in the bag and left the whole fucking head, neck, everything, torso. They left everything intact. But not the 2 arms, not the 2 legs. They was in a separate bag. The 2 arms, 2 legs was in a separate bag. And the rest was in one bag in the garbage can. But like I said, it started smelling. It was just bad. It was just bad. And they found out it was homeboy cut up. Now, I cannot say it was my boy Ziggy. I'm not going to say that because I don't believe he did. Whoever did it, they probably did it for my man Zay. Like, yeah, you did this shit, man, you're gonna get it. And it took a minute. You understand what I'm saying? But that was smart. Because let me tell you right now, I would have done the same thing. All right? You know, Ziggy was my boy and everything, man. But honest truth, I did not have to do nothing. I ain't do nothing to homeboy. Even though I was a Ziggy that day, but I broke out on my own. And that was it. You heard? So once again, I went home, and I'm pretty sure Ziggy went home. So whatever homeboy did, that was on him. But God don't like ugly, bro. They ain't need to do that to Ziggy, man. Plus, Ziggy was young, bro. Ziggy was like, what, 14, 15, something like that. I think he was 14. You know, you don't do that to a young man. Oh, and listen to this. You ready for this, bro? When he fell and stuff like that, these motherfuckers, what they did was, after he fell, he started talking mad shit about Ziggy, bro. Oh, that's what happened to crackheads that come and rob their own neighborhood. You know, they shitting on this man because they thought that this man was going to be in the coma for the rest of his life. They was dead wrong. You hear what I just said? Dead wrong. Anyway, this is your boy K.Solo, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. If you do, please hit that like. Please hit that like. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Come on, how about your boy K.Solo? I've been doing this for years, man, and I don't know what's up with my Latinos, man. For my Latinos, man, for you guys to hit that like, it doesn't cost you guys nothing, man. I'm not asking you guys for no cash app. I'm not asking you guys for none of that. You understand? Say, oh, I'm asking you guys for a like. You know what I'm saying? Listen to my show once in a blue moon. I mean, look out for the Boricuas. You feeling me? Look out for the Prieto con Dominicano, all that good stuff. But plain and simple, I should have said it like this. Look out for the Latino. To all my Dominican brothers, to my Mexican brothers, my Panamanian brothers, my Colombian brothers, Brazilian brothers, Honduras brothers, Mexican brothers, Cuban brothers, Puerto Rican brothers, man, the whole Latino, period. Hit that like and subscribe. And also to my black brothers out there, to my Italian Goombas out there, hit that like. Even to my Jews, to my Jewish brothers and sisters, hit that like. All right, it's not going to cost you guys anything, I guarantee you. But if you guys want to throw a cash app, that's also effective. You feel me? You can do that too. You throw that cash app in there, I'll start bringing out my crazy stories again. All right, and I'll give you a shout out. Plenty like that. One cash app will give you a few shutouts, and the story will be dedicated to you, straight up, all right? And I'll send you a copy on that on the K.Solo Show, a.k.a. The Ghetto Gossip. God bless you guys. Peace.